questions, and then we're going to have to close. We'll take the lady standing right at the back.
Hi, good evening, Prime Minister. My name's Danny Rothwell and I'm a Year 12 student within the City of Casey. I'd like to start by thanking you and the ministers for visiting our vibrant community. I'm a young person who's constantly joining campaigns that are anti-poverty and anti-climate change and to increase support for independent musicians. I was wondering how much this influenced your decisions and if this is worth it.
Does that kind of community campaigning influence our decisions? Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a great credit to you that at a young age you're getting so involved in so many issues. So that's fantastic. And my message would be keep at it, because one of the things we try to do as a government, what we try to do as members of parliament, what Laura tries to do as your local member, is to keep her ear to the ground and to work out what people are thinking about and caring about. I mean, we can't have a one-on-one conversation with more than 20 million people every day and check in with them every day. What are you thinking about today? So we've got to use other ways of doing that. These kind of conversations are one of those ways that we do it. But another way that we do it is we see what people are raising with us, you know, the people who come in the door of the electorate office who, you know, I'll sound old school now, I'll send a letter, I was going to say. You, of course, wouldn't be sending a letter, you'd be sending a message, you'd be emailing, you'd be using social media, you'd be mobilising those kind of networks to make your point. And that is visible to us and it makes us understand that it matters to you and we've got to think about it and we've got to respond. Now, that doesn't mean that we always agree. There are community campaigns that start where we've got to say, look, you know, we've really thought about it, we've analysed it and we've heard what you've got to say, but we still don't agree with you, and then we can have that conversation. But if you raise your voice, then we definitely do hear your voice. So congratulations to you for doing all of that. And we will take the absolute last question. I'll take the gentleman here in the, yes, you in the tracksuit top.
As a Year 11 student, obviously see
yeah, we'll have to just get the microphone a bit closer.
Of the school bonus. The school bonus,
yeah.
But why was the opposition so opposed to this?
Right, you may be asking the wrong question. Not that it's the right question, the wrong person. I may be asking the wrong person. The truth is I don't really know, apart from playing the politics that gets played in Parliament House, because this is a benefit for 1.3 million families around the country. We've been trying to provide that benefit through an education tax refund, so people had to keep their receipts and get the refund at the end of the year. And what was happening with that system, which we introduced, we were the ones who were, you know, concerned to give people some help with the costs of getting the kids to school. We designed the refund, and then as it happened in operation, we saw that 1 million out of 1.3 million families weren't getting their benefit at all or weren't getting the full benefit. So they found it too difficult to keep all the receipts, or they didn't know about it, or they weren't using an accountant to do their tax. They were trying to puzzle through the tax pack themselves and not get it right, and so they were missing out. And that's why we converted that money into paying the bonus that we announced in the budget. And I don't know why the opposition would oppose that, apart from playing politics with it and being out of touch with how much people need that kind of assistance. The Leader of the Opposition said when asked, he said he didn't like the fact it was coming in one lot, and when asked how's that different from the baby bonus that the Howard government put into operation, he said it just is. So I'm just not sure that's the most illuminating explanation in the world, but But despite all of that, we have been able to legislate for it. We are in the process of delivering it. And I'm sure the school kids here in the audience probably do think that they cost their parents. For secondary school kids, I think they probably cost them more than $800 a year. I'm pretty confident of that. They're now sharing figures, and something tells me they're well in excess. So families will be able to use that money to help with all of those costs for kids at school. Can I conclude on that and thank everybody for the spirit in which they participated in this evening's event. Thank you to this fantastic school, and to conclude on this fantastic school, Jan is coming back up to wish us good night, and thank you to Laura for making sure we came. Thank you, Laura.
And that concludes the Community Cabinet being held there in Victoria, in Melbourne. 13 ministers and parliamentary secretaries, including the PM, of course. 13 questions, and a lot of them dealing with education in one form or the other, which isn't surprising considering it was being held at Timbara College in the electorate of Latrobe, an ALP held electorate with the latest of those community cabinets. On to other news now. More than 30